What's good, people? So coming out with another video. Today I want to talk about something I haven't been focusing a lot, something I want to kind of become a lot more conscious of, and that's saving money, which no one talks about. It's one of those topics where people deem it as, personal or non-beneficial, and it's just one of those topics where people think it's rude to discuss. And yeah, I guess in some aspects it's definitely rude, but for me personally, I used to be the worst saver in human history. When I first started to work, I always thought that everything I made had to go towards, groceries or friends and family. So I used to spend it straight away. And for me, that was awesome. I used to love buying and spoiling people around me, but I began to realize that through friends, situations, that you gotta save. You get to a point where you trade your time for money, and your money becomes valuable in some sense. It's not the most valuable thing, but it's definitely important to build, to invest into yourself. And I got to a stage where I became conscious of, if I save my money, I can buy a property, I can travel more, I can buy better equipment, I can invest it into promoting, into me, right? And that's when it all started to resonate. When you earn your money, and it's hard. Everyone knows how hard it is to make money and how easy it is to spend it, right? So there's no disputing that. That's just obvious. But I think no matter how rich, how poor, how little you have, you need to be a good saver. Because even when you do get a lot of money, you still need to be smart. You gotta reinvest it into yourself. You don't just, the more you make, the more you spend. It's got to be your decision. You got to be conscious and mindful of what you're spending your money on. Just like the time. Who are you spending your time on? Who are you spending your money on? These things are very important. And for me, I was very immature with my savings. I wasn't smart. I wasn't conscious of it. But the more I learned, the more I got older, the more I realized that I can better spend my money on other things. Like, instead of getting a loan for a car, I bought an investment property. Instead of going luxury traveling, I did budget traveling, and I found that's the type of traveling I enjoy. And instead of buying all the new equipment, instead of spending money on alcohol, on drugs, or partying, or clubs, or any of these things, instead of going out to restaurants every single day, in a way, I became very restrictive with the amount of money I was spending, and I was putting it into stuff that I wanted to build, and I'm still doing the same thing. What I was doing 5 years ago was completely different to what I'm doing now, because 5 years ago, I didn't have a lot of goals. I didn't know what I wanted to build, and now, right, I'm smart with my money. I'm delegating it effectively. I'm not being cheap. I'm spending it on people I love. I'm spending it on the things I love. I'm buying equipment, I'm traveling, I'm investing it into my social media, into my properties. I'm building all my assets because this is going to allow me to make more, to spend more, to grow more, and to reach more people, which is what I want. And I think a lot of people's issues are they feel like they can't save money, they can't make money. And the issue is people are making money consistently, but they're just so used to spending it on such stupid things. Because I know people that, I'm not pulling anyone out here, but I know people that make $1,000 a week, let's just say on average. They buy takeaway, they get Uber, they buy every latest equipment, they spend it on Netflix, they spend it on all these things that they don't need, but they get into a routine where they become so accustomed to it that they have to keep doing it. New mobile plans, new. They have to keep updating, and they get into this cycle where the more they make, the more they spend, the more they spend, the more they want. And it's never enough. And that's all good if you're working hard for your money, which is justifiable. But you need to invest it. I'm not even talking about stocks or property. You need to invest it in you, right? Buy a book. Or buy something that's going to benefit you in the future and save your money. There's nothing wrong. This is what I mean. No one talks about this. No one really talks about saving your money. It's good to save your money. It's necessary. It's important. And I guess our parents tell us we need to save our money, but it's more of the fact that the more you save, the smarter you get. The smarter you get with your money, the more financially free and the more opportunities that are going to present themselves, because it's not easy saving your money. It's not easy not going out to restaurants and not buying all these beautiful clothes and all these things you want, right? Like, it's very easy to just spend everything you have on a PS5 or a GoPro or a drone or clothing, food, restaurant, anything. That's easy. Anyone can do that. But you can't complain by saying, I don't make enough, I don't have enough, I don't save enough. Because these are your decisions. You can make $500 a week and you can share a rental property. You could catch the transport to work. You could cook all your food. There's always ways to make things happen. And I think people get caught up in a ball where they're comparing themselves, where everyone else has, got these fancy clothes, they're doing these fancy things. But if it doesn't fit in your life, if it's not what you're wanting, then stop doing it, right? For me, for example, with my best friends, they go out to restaurants and they go to these events and they go clubbing and all this stuff, but when I was saving to travel, when I was saving to invest into all my equipment, I couldn't do that stuff. I couldn't spend like $100 every weekend when I could have worked and made $100 and put that in towards my investments, my camera, my traveling. And it was necessary. It is necessary. And I think it's also important to have a balance where you spend your money, obviously, but you don't become so used to spending everything where you are just stupid with your money. And a lot of people always say, I don't have enough money to travel, I can't do this, I can't do that. People become accustomed to a certain way of life. So let's just say you're spending $2,000 a week on $2,000 a month on food, on bills, on your contracts, your plans, and you lose your job. What do you do then? You budget because you have to. But I guess people get caught up in that ball where they don't have to, so they can keep spending and spending and spending to a point where they're not making anything, they're not saving anything. And if you want to be financially free, like, I'm not an expert in finance, trust me, but I'm not stupid with my money. People often ask me, how have you traveled so much? How do you travel so much? How are you doing all this stuff? And it's simple. I made a conscious decision a while ago to work towards what I want. I've been working pretty much full-time since I was 14. And a large part of that has been put into my savings. I've been saving so I can go to London. I've been saving so I can travel. And I've been sacrificing a lot because it's necessary. It's not easy, but it's necessary. And people get caught up in that little bubble of doing what their friends are, keeping up with their friends, getting loans for cars, for phones, for traveling. It's not wrong, but it's not smart. You need to be smart with your money. You need a budget. And even if you are making a lot of money, that's good, but put more towards savings. Don't be content with spending everything just because you're making it. This money could be better spent on you, on something that you could build. And if you don't have anything to build, it could go towards your family, towards a loved one. That's the point of it all. You want to do all this now, so then you could be financially free, so you can spoil and cherish the ones you love. And sorry, I've had a lot of questions, and a lot of people just say, I don't have money, I don't have time, I can't save, I've moved out of home, and it's hard, it's not easy. But there's no point playing the victim, there's no point comparing yourself. Whatever situation you're currently in, you need to accept it, and you need to work hard towards saving, towards making, towards building everything. And that may require you to sell a motorbike, to sell your car, to move into a smaller apartment, to distance yourself from friends, if that means not spending all your money on clubs, drinks and drugs, right? Like, if you drink every week or if you smoke every week, save your hard-earned money to better yourself instead of spending your money on things that are damaging you, things that are destroying your body and making you look and feel worse. Like, why? For me, cutting alcohol was the single most best decision I've made for so many benefits. Obviously the financial, then the confidence building of I can go out and have fun without a touch of alcohol. And like, I'm 5 years without touching alcohol, and that's, I know everyone's like, ugh, whatever. But for me, it's such an impressive thing. It's such a good goal that I achieved and have achieved and will continue, because it's a perfect habit. to help me with what I'm trying to achieve. And I'm rambling. My key point is, don't compare yourself to other people. Start saving, start being smart with your money, right? Start learning to say no to things and focus on your goals, regardless of who doesn't believe in you, who does believe in you, who supports you. And a big part of that is the people around you are going to be the first to discourage you. Your friends, your family, unfortunately, the people that will most likely say, you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. And some cases it's different, some cases it's not. But use it as motivation. Prove them wrong. Prove yourself right. If you have a goal, if you have an idea, work your ass off for it, make it become a reality, and be a visionary essentially. If you have a goal, vision it. Don't tell anyone, show them. Build your goal, envision it, build it. Then they'll see it, then they'll understand what you've been working towards, why every weekend you've been working instead of going out, and it'll all be worth it. Cannot stress enough how rewarding it is when you accomplish these things. And I'm in the process of now just really trying to work on this. So I want to put it out there because I learned it from somebody I watch, and the more people it reaches, the more happy people are, because there's enough room on top for everyone. And it gets annoying, it gets boring, it gets repetitive when people just complain instead of making things happen. So focus on you, focus on your goals, and that way you can do what you want. You can be financially free, you can be happy. So hope you've enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.